Hello. So the world over, people are practicing yoga. Yeah. In their own ways. We have a body that's human that's standing upright. Yeah. Feet facing forward, body standing upright. Yeah. Head on top of the whole frame, eyes facing forward. Yeah. It's taken some time for a body to take this shape, to be of this form. And yoga as we know it is from a Shiva perspective, from the idea of, well, a male named Shiva doing yoga, who first taught yoga, or in some way from whom yoga became more famous. Yeah, as a doable, need to do, maintain health thing. Okay, that's one half of the equation. Because this is the idea of the Ardhanarishwar. Okay, Ardhanarishwar is how I heard it as being pronounced, and I thought, oh yeah, it's all good, because it's half, like nature nurture, half Purusha and Prakriti. Yeah, like nature, nurture, half that way. So Ardhanarishwar makes sense because each of us have a masculine and a feminine side to our body. Side, Ida and Pingala, they say. They also say in terms of matter and energy. Each of us, our body is made of it. Human body is also formed from the sperm and ovum. Yeah, without exception. And we have a belly button to prove that we just didn't drop out of the sky. Yeah. Now, so it's an entire evolutionary process. And every human body has these two sides to it. To our expression, to our being in existence, it's a couple. It's a coupling dynamics. Now, so the Shiva yoga, the yoga that we are doing, as we have known it, is only one half of the equation. Yeah. The other half is represented by the Parvati. Yeah. Or let's just say Sati. Or if you could take it even kind of more generic, you say Shankar and Shakti. Yeah. Um, words. But there's also the idea of Adam and Eve. Yeah. Shiva and Parvati would be a kind of story-wise one way to see that, to see this story, this allegory. Adam and Lilith are said to be, Lilith is said to be Adam's first wife. Yeah. And then Eve emerged from Adam's ribs or something like that. That's a story of, according to the story of Genesis. The Lilith story is not very famous. Ancient people would know. Yeah, those who actually look into the story of it. Similarly, Shiva and Sati. Sati is said to be Shiva's first wife. Yeah, and then Parvati is said to be Sati's reincarnation. Yeah, so that's the Indian story of it. Now, consider that we are talking about the masculine and feminine in many allegorical stories. Yeah. Nature, nurture, matter, energy, subject, object. Yeah. A sentence is complete when there's an agreement between the subject and object. Yeah. Similarly, there's the idea of the Samudra Manthan. Now, you say a daily churnings, a daily grind, yeah, by which we make our living. Milky Way galaxy is a spiral galaxy, yeah. And so we are part of the spiral Milky Way galaxy. And so we keep doing the chakras. Yeah, we keep doing the round, round, round. They also call it as a yuga. Okay. We have clock, circadian rhythms, and all that. Yeah. Cyclical patterns. Now, having said that, and then you're talking about Shiva being half the equation, and then Parvati. Yeah. Now, why am I talking about Parvati is because in the idea of the Samudra Manthan, Shiva at one point takes in the poison from the hala hala. Okay. Now, in the Samudra Manthan, the whole story, just a little bit, is that the Sur and Asur, yeah, it's like music and other than music and noise. It's one way to look at it. Okay, that's bad. Let's just say the light and the dark. Yeah. Or that which, or let's just say Sukha and Dukha. That's much more easier to understand. Too much of Sukha that goes into, oh, too many, you can't handle the stuff, it goes out of balance. Too much Dukha also goes out of balance. So Sukha and Dukha, churning the daily, everyday grind. Yeah. And with they call it the Sheshnag or the Sheshnag. Yeah. We have a head up Shesh. It's also like head, you could say. We have our head in, 1,000 concerns. Yeah. We've got a lot of things to think about. And then we are manage life balance, work-life balance, and juggling many things and having a sane life. Yeah. That's also one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is they're talking about the Kundalini. Yeah. Or we all have a body. We grew up as a crawling baby. Yeah. And then over time we stood up and now we are standing up like this. Yeah. But we don't stop being a snake because we have a spine, a spinal cord. That's kind of like, the head of a snake and then the entire tail. Yeah. We even have a tail that's supposed to be hanging freely. Yeah. So at our, we can move nicely. We can also twist because we have a nice coily movie. Yeah. We can also do that and go to sleep and then wake up and then really stretch and we can do all that because we have a Kundalini, an entire story, an evolutionary story of how a human body formed, right? From the primitive ocean, from where life first stirred, and then the entire evolutionary cycles, plants, animals, okay. Spirit, space, air, um, fire, water, earth, microbes, plants, plants, microbes, animals, plants, humans. That's said to be the ray of creation. Yeah. And we keep going through these evolutionary cycles. Once a human, we don't just stop being, human. Our cycles of evolution, that's called circadian rhythms. Yeah. So the entire evolutionary cycle keeps repeating in our growing up phases. That's also kind of represented by the idea of the Kundalini, which means we don't stop being human. We got to keep remembering how in the world we came to have a body that's human. And it's when we forget that we kind of devolve. Yeah. Alzheimer's, for example, is referring to a spindle, spindles forming from getting kind of, tied in and forgetting how to be connected socially and then, where we come from. So neurodegenerative diseases come from getting a little caught up in the spindles. Yeah. And then unspindling. Chakravyuha. Krishna knew how to come out of the Chakravyuha. Abhimanyu didn't. Yeah. So to remember how to be connected left and right sides. Yeah. Such that we're not getting caught up in only one direction. Yeah. So there is reference to, the left wing and the right wing. Yeah. Our human body has both wings. Yeah. And it's important for us to remember to keep both equally balanced. Yeah. That's why we have the idea of a wing, Garuda, and all of that. Yeah. So to keep the balance equal, otherwise we get lost in the internal world or in the external world, introvert or extrovert. So it's not either or. We have both aspects. We have the world inside as well as the world outside. So it's not either or. You could get lost in either if you do either or. Yeah. So there's another word when you're faced with either or. And the word is and. It's not either or, but and. And it's to figure out how to do and not get caught in the either or, that we begin to resolve what's called kleshas or conflicts. Conflicts come when you have to choose between this or that, either or, conflicts come. Solutions come from you thinking and figuring out how to have both, and in such a way that there are no contradictions, there are no clashes, and life doesn't get difficult. And that's how you have freedom. Otherwise you have Jatayu. Yeah, you're working with only one wing. Yeah, not quite functioning as fine. How to do that is what makes my brand of movementless yoga, I call healthy and natural breathing, a game changer. Yeah? It's a yoga with a difference. This is what I call as Parvati Yoga. Because in the Samudra Manthan, the Sukha Dukha, the Kundalini, the snake, being churned by Sukha and Dukha, like, oh my goodness, which way to go? Yeah. And so there could be also poison. This churning is happening, so the poisonous. Yeah. So Shiva takes in the poison. Otherwise, the whole creation goes, poison not so good. Yeah. So Shiva takes in the poison and keeps it in his throat. How it is in the throat is because Parvati is half the matter. Yeah, it's like matter and energy. Energy, that sense, contain the poison in such a way that the human doesn't die. And it's called Vishachikitsa, Shri Vidya, or how to maintain the yellow of life. The life resurrected, otherwise it die. Yeah, become all blue, not fine. Yeah. So this is an allegorical story kind of representation for this idea. Parvati is a game changer. She helped digest the visha or the poison such that the human doesn't die. Now, Andromeda Galaxy is said to be in different stages of merging with Milky Way Galaxy, which means change is happening. And when change is happening, there's also change in the environment. Ancient people used to call it as cosmic causes for diseases, miasmic causes for diseases, which means smell-based, yeah? Could be in the air, yeah? Rheumatic causes for diseases, which means in the inflammation as a cause, yeah? The fiber of our body. The corona, for example, cause fibrotic changes, yeah? One reference. Rheumatic. Or it could be telluric, which means earth-based, geographical, earth-based. It also could be from our body's composition. Yeah, you've eaten something that's not so fine, and then we could get poison concerns. Yeah, and then you would need to then heal the food poisoning and then restore. So that way. So it could be earth in the sense it could be body-based. Yeah, in the sense that way. So or it could be from the geography. Yeah. So four causes have been said. So this is passed down from ancient ways of thinking. Yeah. Now, this is where my brand of yoga, I call as Parvati Yoga. Yeah. Now let's just say Bitha Yuga. Yeah. My name is Bitha. So, because we already have the idea of Parvati. Yeah. Parvati, Shri Vidya, and there are textbooks talking about it. And yet we have WHO's list of diseases. Yeah. So our thinking processes have not been fresh enough or renewed, rejuvenated enough, because we may have been going back into previous ways of thinking or traditional ways of thinking, which means tradition, as in habituatedly, this is how it's done. And we continue to do this because it's worked for our ancestors. It's good. There are some things that continues to work and it's still relevant. It's more like we have theories of science. We have the standard model of particle physics. And we have that model until something else comes up, which makes this better, in which case, then the theory, the model, takes slight changes. We have similarly, our theories, our traditional ways of living is this has been working, and so it works until something better comes that makes this even better. Yeah, that's also how we build, say, a building. First floor, second floor. The next one comes up when after assessing, is that necessary? Yeah, why is it necessary? And then is the existing structure going to be able to take that new thing? Yeah. Based on all these assessments is how something new is then arrived at. Yeah. So similarly, our constructs of reality, our dreams, what we invest in depends on, is this new thing going to make life as is better without destabilizing what we already have? Yeah. Those are evaluations based on which we make a wise decision, informed decision, and not just, impulsive, just go about doing things. So for that discernment, as well as improvement of health as we know it, health, wealth, wisdom of life as we are living it, economy, global concerns, addressing, we got lots of problems, yeah? Now we have Andromeda galaxy in different stages of merging with Milky Way galaxy. So we have an opportunity to make a lot of things, just everything better. Yeah? Now, that's where I'm talking about my suite of services, coachings, products, solutions. For that, we have been covering my Mahameru, yeah, and my relationship with the Shri chakra, yeah. That's also like rhythms, chakra. You could say our constructs, the Milky Way, yeah, all good. And we've been having WHO's list of diseases. Now, having said that, our human body has uncoiled from, baby, four-footed, and then crawly, and then hold on to something, and then here we kind of straightened out, yeah, to this human shape. That takes a little warming up to basics on how to be and maintain being human, which means, so we're not getting caught up in vortices. Andromeda galaxy, different stages of merging with Milky Way galaxy. You're not getting caught up in vortices, but instead straightening things out. Yeah. Enlivening life in the multiverse. Yeah. And for that, it helps to pay attention to the left and right sides of your feet. We have two legs, or at least we have two sides of our body. I'm talking to people, to include those people who are like, one hand, we have plus or minus limbs. An alive human being has head, neck, trunk, yeah, some form of shoulder until the pelvis, at least. Yeah, that is like, given that you require that. Because our human body is made in a bony framework that includes the pelvic girdle, the shoulder girdle, a spine, head, plus or minus limbs. Yeah, so the limbs, hands are in a socket joint with the shoulder girdle. That includes the rib cage. Yeah, shoulder girdle, rib cage. I'm including that the whole unit as one part because the ribs don't function without the collarbone that's part of the shoulder girdle, and so I'm considering the whole thing as one unit. And then the legs are in a joint collaboration with the pelvic girdle. Yeah. So then you would say, okay, war veterans and all those people, so many kinds of concern. But an alive person has basically a head, a shoulder girdle that includes a rib cage, a spine, and the pelvic girdle. Yeah. So I'm including the limbs as part of the shoulder girdle or the pelvic girdle. Yeah. So we have a little skeleton-y framework from which to have our lives function healthier, wealthier, wiser. Yeah. We have both sides. Okay. I invite you to pay attention to the bottom of this two phases, left and right sides. So it could be your legs or it could be your pelvis, whichever is touching ground first. Okay. Now, Pay attention to the weight of your body between the left and right sides. You would need to pay attention to the extreme left side and to the extreme right side. Because then, say for your feet, your little toe would maintain the weight of the extreme-most side that is touching the ground. Yeah. For those who have feet, your extreme-most side. For those who don't, you still have something, yeah, a part of your body muscle system, which is the extreme-most left and the extreme-most right. Yeah. And then to find a balance between the two so that the strain of your weight is not on one side or the other. So that you would need to slightly adjust the weight of your body between the left and right, paying attention to the extreme-most sides, yeah, the little feet or the extreme-most side. And then adjust your weight so that one side is not bearing the weight more than the other. And that will relieve the stress and strain on your spine. When your spine is less stressed and strained, you are a person, you're more a person with a spine. Yeah, like spine, a character. Otherwise, you're a little bit in the churn between the sukha and dukkha, and it's happening, it's not happening, happening, not happening. Yeah. And your story suffers, like what I'm calling as Kundalini, the entire story of how in the world you formed is a little strained. Yeah, between the sukha and dukkha. And you could even have, say, scoliosis and those kinds of concerns because there's a churn between the left and right sides. Yeah. So pay attention to the weight of your body between the left and right sides. And you would also need to pay attention to the weight between your arms, not just your limbs, your legs. Yeah. Okay. Why am I calling the legs the limbs? Okay. Limbs is hands and legs. Both together is called limbs. So pay attention to your legs and also pay attention to your hands, arms. And check how is the weight between the left and right. Yeah. It better be in balance. Not doing this, or this. Yeah. You would notice a difference in the weight between your left shoulder and right shoulder. And notice the strain between the left and right shoulder. That will tell you if there is one shoulder is taking more weight than the other. Okay? And relax those muscles, which is strained a little bit. Because that will help to decompress those muscles. Yeah? Pay attention to one side versus the other. Don't try and release both. Don't try and relax both, because then you won't know what is balance. Relax one and notice how does that feel for the balance between left and right sides. And then if there is okay, if nothing's happening, try relaxing the other. Maybe that'll make a difference in you experiencing, oh, there's a difference in the balance. And then slowly you will come to, okay, this feels more like balance, more like equilibrium. So one side is not more strained than the other. Slowly that comes in equal. And your spine gets less strained. And you become a person with more character. Not between, oh, this, that, yeah. Left wing, right wing, oh my goodness. Yeah. Because your head feels a strain. Your thinking becomes more left wing, right wing, or logical, intuitive, creative. Oh my goodness. Not balanced. Yeah. Largely because your left shoulder, right shoulder, left pelvis, right pelvis. Yeah. It's feeling the strain. The shoulder girdle and the pelvic girdle. It's feeling the strain. And so your spine is not able to be as relaxed enough to have your head be relaxed enough. Yeah. For you to think clearly. On that note, we begin movementless yoga. Yeah. Paying attention to, so we're not doing anything. We're only paying attention to the weight at your left and right foot, left and right arms, and we are only relaxing. We're not, shake, move, ooh, do all that. Nothing. We're only paying attention to how things are and relaxing. Relax. If nothing is happening, relax the other. Yeah. The idea is to come to a balance. Not this or that. Both is important. and we have two sides to our body. Yeah. So we are one person with two sides. So this is Advaita and Dvaita. Okay. So we will cover more of the anatomy and physiology of a human being as we begin to experience life, look at yoga from a woman's perspective. Yeah, okay, let's just say uh, my perspective. Yeah. You're also a person who says my world. Yeah. So I also say my world. Yeah. So we look at life, yoga, and everything from my perspective. Yeah. And then come to a balance between left and right and have an opinion. Yeah. That matters. At least our life, it gets more stable, functioning. And then we, as we are talking, others will say, that's not correct. And then somebody or the other will correct you and then say, there's another aspect to it. And then we begin to have conversation that is not like this, but more to course correct or to bring better communication, less violence, and more conversation that then works, this doesn't work. You're actually saying the cause is for your dukkha, and the other person listens and they say their cause for dukkha, and then you listen. And then we begin to breathe healthier naturally. It becomes more easier for us to breathe healthier naturally. Yeah. The space of our room, of our house, body as a first house, begins to be more livable, more enlivening, because like a room, when you turn on the fan or the AC, it's more nicer, pleasanter. Yeah. Or when the windows are open, there's air coming in. Healthy natural breathing is like that. Yeah. When we can release some of the dukkha through conversation, through the experience of, oh, this is a little like this. And then you relax a little bit and then balance between the left and right sides. There's also front and back and up and down and in and out. We'll cover all of that. First, we'll begin with the two. You're familiar with the two sides. Slowly, slowly, we'll bring a balance between these different complementary opposites, and we'll have movementless Ashtanga Yoga Vinyasa. Yeah? Okay, all of that may be a big lot of things. So I said, my suite of herstorical, real-world problems is a brand apart. Yeah? Do stay tuned, and you will know what all is different about my suite of services, coachings, products, solutions. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.